Hey, good day, everybody. Yeah, helps if I put this in full screen, right? Sorry about that. Okay, so here we are. The Bible in the year 2021, day 40. Congratulations on making it to day 40. Yay! You should buy yourself a cupcake or something today and celebrate. It's great that you've stuck with it this long. And we're doing Exodus chapters 30 to 32. I'm going to tell you guys, there's a lot to cover today, some pretty significant stuff. So we're just going to get into it. Just a couple of little things wanting to point out here. We've gone through the bother of all the furniture. You've heard of all the furniture, all the things, everything that you've mentioned, that has been mentioned, that you've read. You need to understand has to be carried. So yeah, and everything has this layer of gold over it. So you can imagine how heavy that would be. And so I just wanted to use this example just to point that out to you. Make two gold rings and attach them under the molding on two opposite sides of the altar. They will house the poles used to carry the altar. And it was especially those that were considered most holy, most holy. These things were not supposed to be touched at all, and they were handled with a distance. And we all know what happened when David's first attempt to bring the ark in. The ark was supposed to be carried, not touched, but carried on poles and not touched by human hands and carried only by the Levites. But we're not to that point yet. We're not at the point of that being assigned yet. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So we go on in verse 9. Um, Everything that's happening, okay, with a lot of the other religions that are practiced all around them, those are traditions that happened over a period of time. It was a traditional way of doing things. It was not somebody who sat down and wrote out all the rules. They might have written them out afterwards, but all these idol worshippers and stuff. It developed by tradition. And here we have Israel that is getting it like in one shot. Everything's being written down. That's a lot of learning. That's a huge learning curve. They're going from not knowing much about the Creator at all to knowing His name, to seeing His power, and now having the rules that He wants them to live by. That is a huge thing. So, just again, using verse 9 as an example, don't offer the wrong incense on the altar or an entirely burned offering or a grain offering. Don't pour a drink offering on it. And there's a lot of things how they're supposed to do, and especially what they weren't supposed to do. Some of it led to being people cut off from Israel. Others led it would be dealt with by death. So yeah, and it's a lot for them to learn. Just keep that in mind. Okay, just keep it in mind. And there's some things that they did purposely wrong that got dealt with. But even if they did it wrong by mistake, hmm. So in verse 16, um, a lot of the things that are being put in place are reminders. The reminders, because Yahweh knows they're going to need reminders. They're going to need reminders through all of this constantly, and we're going to see it very soon. How quickly they forget. So in verse 16, it says, take the compensation money from the Israelites and use it to support the service of the meeting tent. It will serve for the Israelites as a reminder in the Lord's presence of the compensation paid for your lives. So they were allowed to take a census, but it had to be a census that everybody cooperated in. And when they were counted, they would give an offering for their life. And that's what they do. They would make this compensation offering, and it was a reminder. And he went on to say, this it serves, it will serve for the Israelites as a reminder in the Lord's presence of the compensation paid for your lives. Okay, so yeah, they weren't to take things for granted at all. So he's got that throughout all the ceremonies and the traditions and everything that is set up. And then we read this in verse 21, just how important this is. They must wash their hands and their feet. So they're speaking of Aaron and his sons, speaking of the priesthood. They must wash their hands and their feet so that they don't die. So they don't die. Whoa. Uh, Yeah, I forgot to wash my hands. Gone. This will be a permanent regulation for them, for Aaron and his descendants in every generation. So, the thing I wanted to point out here, and thank you, Holy Spirit, eh, um, what did Jesus say makes a person unclean? He says it's the stuff that comes out. It's not the stuff that goes in. He moved us away from this exterior expression to the inner condition. And I need to keep bringing it up because some people get lost in the Old Testament. And Jesus called us to a more intimate relationship, a deeper place, to the root of matters, not dealing with the symptoms of things, but dealing with the heart of it. And so Jesus says it's not what's on the outside that makes a person unclean. It's what's on the inside. It's the heart condition. Um, it's the inner place that impacts the exterior. So it's, this is why we shouldn't put too much emphasis on the symptom, and we should really, as Jesus did, go to the heart of every matter, as he did with the woman at the well, as he did with Nicodemus. Those initial questions are being asked, but he went right to the heart. And that's where we need to go with people. We need to enter into heart relationships with them, and help them in that inner place. That's what matters. Okay. So in verses 31 to 32, um, again, I'm just trying to highlight some things here. The Israelites were invited into this relationship. It was an invitation. They weren't forced to. Moses came to them, and he's going to come to them again, and it's going to be presented. It's been presented a couple of times already. Once without them knowing the details, and they said they'll do whatever Yahweh wants. The second time, it was after the details were given, and they still said, "Yeah, we'll do whatever Yahweh wants." And there's a cost. There's a cost to being in that relationship. There's a cost to marriage. There's a cost to parenting. There's always a cost that's involved. And we see here, say to the Israelites, this will be my holy anointing oil in every generation. Don't allow anyone else to use this oil. Don't make another oil like it by using the same formula. This oil is holy, and you should regard it as holy. It's an expensive oil. It's set aside. It's not to be used for anything else. And this is what it's like to be in relationship with the Lord, is that the price for us was expensive. We have been set aside for his purpose, for what his divine purpose, for what he calls us into. And we we have been invited in, and we bow our knees, and we really surrender ourselves. This is what it's like to be in this relationship. We surrender ourselves for his purpose. So you have to ask yourself, is that the life that you want? Do you want a life where God is not in your back pocket when you pull him out on emergencies and do the whole genie, I have three wishes type of thing? But it is the constant abiding in him. It is the constant um, seeking his will, desiring what he wants. It's not coming to him with some half thought through idea, but coming and presenting him our very best. This is what the relationship is. So on to chapter 31, which is very short, but it's still very important. Um, we need to acknowledge whether a person acknowledges Yahweh or not. We need to acknowledge that all talents, all gifts are only because the Lord has given us that. It's always from Him, and we are, every time we read through this, we point this out. Look, I have chosen Bezalel, Uri's son, and Hur's grandson from the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the divine spirit, with skill, ability, and knowledge of every kind of work. So there's this acknowledgement of the good things, of the talents and gifts that he gives to us. Um, and yeah, whether it's acknowledged or not, we understand he is the source of all these things. In verse 17, we this is an important thing that I would love to spend a lot of time on. We just don't have the time to be able to spend it on there. but this is a whole subject in itself. It's the acknowledgement of how we have been designed, and Yahweh here is making this very important. He's saying the Sabbath. He's talking about the Sabbath, and he's talking about all Sabbaths. He says, keep all my Sabbaths holy. And a Sabbath is a day that is set aside, a holy day, an important day, a day that is no work is done, and it is for Yahweh's purpose. So it is a sign forever between me and the Israelites that in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day the Lord rested and was refreshed. The Lord rested and was refreshed. It's really strange that like he doesn't need refreshing. Okay, but the purpose was that he was taking this day as a refreshing day, and it's you get refreshing in all kinds of different ways. He hung out with Adam. He went for walks, with Adam, conversation. It's a time where you just come away from the normal stuff, and just slow down, and you spend time on what's important, the people around you. So it's a physical need. Our bodies, our minds, we need this. We need this break. We need this time of rest. But it's more. It's more than just that. It's a spiritual acknowledgement of how we have been designed by the Creator. It's by His design. On the seventh day, the Lord rested and was refreshed. It's an acknowledgement. It's a testimony. This is our design. We're not good at it. Not good at all. And it doesn't matter whether it's regulated. It doesn't matter whether the government builds in a system for it or not. We individually have to observe this. It's an acknowledgement that God created us to need rest, and we submit ourselves to that. In Okay, here we go. The biggie. Here's the biggie, guys, and I hope I left myself enough time to do this. Exodus 32:2. What is up with Aaron? Really, honestly, what is up with him? Okay, we know Moses has been a long time. It's been 7 days while Yahweh got everything prepared. On the seventh day, he called Moses up to him. And don't forget that Joshua is there as well, and Moses. So it's Moses and Joshua, and Moses is up there, and it says 40 days and 40 nights. So it's a very long time that he's up there, and can you believe that Israel? Or could you believe that Aaron would forget in such a short period of time? So they came to him and they said, "Listen, we don't know where Moses is. We don't know what happened to him, but we need to, honor um, the God who brought us out." So Aaron said to them, "All right, take out the gold rings from the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So, right here, the whole calf thing was Aaron's idea. Okay, they didn't hold a gun to his head. He's the leader. He should have taken leadership. He should have said, "No way, guys. You heard what I heard." Like, and remember that Aaron was there when the commandments were given, when God was speaking to Moses about this. Aaron was there. Okay, you remember that, right? The case laws were given. Aaron was there, so he knows this. He heard this himself. But what's he doing? Okay, the calf's his idea. Um, Not only that, but after he made the calf, in verse 5, when Aaron saw this, okay, he built an altar in front of the calf. Then Aaron announced, "Tomorrow will be a festival to the," look what he uses. Now we understand this is a substitute for Yahweh. Tomorrow will be a festival to Yahweh. So what's he doing? He's reduced. He has reduced Yahweh down to an object of creation. This is gold. I mean, gold is just a mineral, and it's precious to us, but it's nothing. It was created by God, and yet now Aaron is saying that Yahweh is this golden calf, And like this golden calf can't do anything. The golden calf can't split the waters. The golden calf can't send down hail. The golden calf can't kill the firstborn sons. The golden calf can't provide manna. The golden calf can't do anything. But yet they're going to say that this golden calf is Yahweh, and it's this thing that has brought them out of Egypt. Are you kidding me? That is just nuts. And again, the altar was Aaron's idea. He saw it was pleasing. He was a people pleaser. He saw it was pleasing, this thing he did, so he decided he'd set up the worship there. He's supposed to be the priest of Yahweh, and look what he's doing. See, this is how the nations went so wrong. They did this very thing. They were worshiping the Creator, and this is what it became. And Israel's about to go that way. And Yahweh knows exactly what's going on in the camp, and he is so angry. He wants to disown the people completely. The Lord said to Moses, "Hurry up and go down. Your people." That's always underlined. Every preacher, I think, highlights this, but it's important for us to note he's just disowning them. Your people, whom you brought up out of the land of Egypt, are ruining everything. Now, don't think that Yahweh has forgotten. He's not. It's just that this is going to require leadership from Moses, and he's just provoking Moses into that place. He's provoking Moses to acknowledge and remember who Yahweh is and what he has already done for them. So he's throwing this on Moses, so Moses can turn around and throw it back at him. And he says, they've already abandoned the path that I commanded. Already. I mean, it's been days. We haven't gone anywhere, and they've already abandoned it. They have made a metal bull calf for themselves. They've bowed down to it and offered sacrifices to it and declared, "These are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt." See, that stings. That stings right there. Wow. I wonder how many things in our life we've credited to other things when Yahweh has done it. When our Father has done that for us. Okay, in verse 9 to 10, he get it. He's prepared just to start from scratch again. He's still going to go with the idea of the nation, but he wants to do it with Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "I've been watching these people, and I've seen how stubborn they are. Now leave me alone. Let my fury burn and devour them. Then I'll make a great nation out of you." So the tribes would all be gone. The only tribe left would be the Levite, and the whole idea of Israel. It would be something completely different. But Moses isn't having any of this. Moses is doing exactly what Yahweh trusted him to do. Moses steps up. But Moses pleaded with the Lord his God, "Lord, why does your fury burn against your own people?" See, he throws it back at him. "They're not my people. They're your own people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and amazing force." So there, he's nullifying what the people have done, claiming that this gold calf brought them out. He's acknowledging Yahweh has done this. He's acknowledging the power and the authority, and he's acknowledging that these people belong to Yahweh. So that's so important here. So in verse 12, Moses is concerned about Yahweh's reputation. Look at this. This is what a friend does for a friend. This is kind of relationship that Moses saw that he has with Yahweh. And he says, why should the Egyptians say he had an evil plan to take the people out and kill them in the mountains and so wipe them off the earth? Calm down your fierce anger. Imagine telling God to calm down. Can you imagine that? Excuse me, Holy One, can you calm down? Change your mind. Change your mind about doing terrible things to your own people. And again, just drawing those lines. And I'm sure it was so pleasing to the Lord that Moses spoke up like this. And defended them and defended and showed his concern for Yahweh's reputation, because that's what he wants. He wants a nation that can be concerned about how everybody else thinks about him. That's what he's looking for, and he's finding it there in Moses. Yeah, that's important. Write that down, because what do people think of Yahweh because of us? What do they think of our Father because of us? What do they think of Jesus because of us? How are we concerned about his reputation? Are we concerned about his reputation so much that we will change our mind on the things that we think are important, the things that we want to do. Okay, I don't have time to pursue that. Verse 13. Uh, Reminded of the covenant. Yeah, this is Moses throws this because we already know, we've seen it demonstrated that Yahweh will go to great lengths to keep his word, to keep his promises. He will go to great lengths to do that. And Moses reminds him of this. He reminds him of this covenant. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, whom you yourself promised. I'll make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and I've promised to give your descendants this whole land to possess for all time. So he's a reminder there. And he likes it when we remind him. Then the Lord changed his mind about the terrible things he said he would do to his people. And yeah, we're supposed to remind the Lord of his promises. He loves that. He loves to hear the declarations of his promises. He loves for us just to acknowledge, and he wants to know that we're paying attention. I just something, because it's going to come up probably tomorrow. I want you to take note of this. Yahweh wrote the tablets, okay? The tablets were God's own work. What was written there was God's own writing inscribed on the tablets. Can you imagine? That was you just remember that. Um, and here we see, let's just acknowledge it'd be much better. Um, I think to face the fury of Moses than to face the fury of Yahweh. Um, now David, because we discover so much more about Yahweh before we get to David. David decided he'd rather be in the hands, place himself in the hands of Yahweh than to place his hands in the hands of man, because he saw that Yahweh has mercy and compassion, and the villains around David did not. But in this case, Yahweh could not, or Moses could not do to Israel what Yahweh was planning on doing. So it's much better they faced Moses' fury. When he got near the camp and saw the bull calf and the dancing, Moses was furious. He hurled the tablets down and shattered them in pieces at the foot of the mountain. Now, hold on a second. That wasn't Moses' work. That was Yahweh's, and that was Yahweh's gift. He made that with his own hands. That's his gift to Israel. And Moses went on his own and smashed them to bits. And I just highlight that for what's going to come up soon. And of course, uh, we know this is all on Aaron. Aaron didn't stand up. Aaron was not the leader that he should have been. He was a populist leader. He gave the people what they wanted. And people say, well, that's good. Yeah, not really. Sometimes leaders have to make those tough decisions. So Moses said to Aaron, what did these people do to you that you led them to commit such a terrible sin? Because come on, Aaron, you were there with me. What could they have possibly have done for you to do this? What I mean, did they threaten? Did they threaten your kids? Did they threaten your wife? Did they like what was this all about? And then we have this incredible lie from him. He's explaining it to Moses, and he said, so I said to them, whoever has gold, take it off. So they gave it to me. I threw it into the fire, and out came this bull calf. Yeah, talk about bull. Yeah, that's bull. Okay. Threw it into the fire, and just out popped. It had nothing to do with you. You didn't shape it, right? You just, it was there. It was the it's like the marble sculpture. I see what's in there, and I'm just releasing it. And that's what, he just saw the calf in that gold, and it was just released when he threw it in the fire, right? Um, Moses just saw clearly that this was a failure of leadership. The people went wild, and they went astray like this in such a short period of time because Aaron is not Moses. There's just a failure of leadership here. That tells us how unique Moses is, that he could keep these people together and keep God from killing them. Like for as long as he did. And so Moses saw that the people were out of control because Aaron had let them get out of control. making them an easy target for their enemies. Hmm. And here we find now you remember. Let's just go back for a second. You'll remember Jacob had his blessings for his sons, and some of those blessings actually came across as curses. And you remember that Levi was one of the sons that had caused that um, massacre. They went in and just well, people were in a position where they couldn't defend themselves. Just they butchered everybody, and Jacob said because of that he would be assimilated. Basically, he would not have a tribe. It would be assimilated among the other tribes, and here. There's a redemption that happens. He redeems himself, or at least his children do. So Moses stood at the camp's gate and said, "Whoever is on the Lord's side, come to me." All the Levites gathered around him. And then he gave them the instructions to go out and to kill. And I forget how many, was it 3,000 people were killed by the Levites that day to bring them back under control because they were out of control. And it was from there, it was after that then they were assigned to assist the priests. They were assigned because of their passion for the Lord in this, that they did not withdraw their hand. They did what was instructed to them, and it was because of that they were now entrusted with the holy things. Um, and so Levi tribe still existed, went on, and distinguished themselves from all of this. So I just want to point that out, that there was that moment of redemption there. In Exodus 32:30, we see Moses the mediator. The next day, Moses said to the people, "You've committed a terrible sin, so now I will go up to the Lord. Maybe I can arrange reconciliation on account of your sin." So, yeah, he was going up to mediate for them. So, yeah, Moses is this wonderful mediator. He mediated for the people to God, and then from God to the people. And then we see this. Yeah, this is a time where judgment was full judgment. Oftentimes at this time was put off to a later date, but there was immediate consequences for actions. It's not like the age in which we live, when a day has been set aside for judgment, and we're no longer under the condemnation of sin. And so we see here, but the Lord said to Moses, "The ones I'll wipe out of my scroll." Because remember, Moses was willing to sacrifice himself. He's saying, "Listen, if you're going to wipe them all out, include me. Include me in that. If you're going to wipe them all out, then you wipe me out too. I stand with them." That's just an amazing position as a leader to come into. He had nothing to do with this, and yet he's saying, if they failed, I failed as well. Like, he's taking that as a leader. Their failure is my failure, and their consequences must be my consequences, is what he said. But the Lord said to Moses, "The ones I'll wipe out of my scroll are those who sinned against me. Now go and lead the people to the place I described to you." Now, this is God. This is his justice. There's no way he's about to put an innocent person to death, such as Moses. But what does he say? Now go and lead the people to the place I described to you. My messenger here will go in front of you. So just take note. Yahweh is not planning on going with them. My messenger here will go in front of you. Moses is going to bring that up later. When the day of reckoning comes, I'll count their sin against them. So when the day of judgment comes, when the day of that reckoning comes, I'll count. I'm not going to forget this. I'm going to hold this sin against them. Compared to the age that we live in now, this age of grace and what Jesus Christ has done for us, where no sin is counted against us, where everything has been forgiven, it's gone, it's been removed from us. I'll count their sin against them. Then the Lord sent a plague. So that's the future consequences, but there's also the immediate. Then the Lord sent a plague on the people because of what they did with the bull calf that Aaron made. Man, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there revealing You know, it's great to see these things about Aaron and about Israel and about Moses, but it's really what's being revealed by Yahweh that we need to hold on to here, because that we're going to carry forward. We can appreciate Moses, but that is not going to carry forward. Moses is very unique in history. That is not going to carry forward. It's great that we see his character, what he's like, and admire that, but it's the information, it's the knowledge of Yahweh that we're going to carry forward. So just try to keep that in mind with all the details that we're going through. So sorry that sounds all rushed. You're probably as much out of breath as I am. And I just want to say, guys, have a blessed day. Have a really blessed and wonderful day. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow. I'm just glad you're on this journey with me. Love you guys very much. God bless.